Good morning. Check out this beautiful rose, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Just come out in the last couple of days. Well, I'm up here bright and early this morning before it gets too hot. We're in the middle of a heat wave. I don't know whether we'll still be in a heat wave by the time this video comes out. Probably not. But it's too hot in the middle of the day to be working for me at any rate. So I'm going to get some work done early on. I've harvested half of my garlic and I'm going to harvest the other half. So far so bad as far as the garlic's concerned, but let's hope the second half, which is a different variety, is a bit more successful. I had two types of garlic planted here. I had Germador, and this that I'm harvesting now is called Casablanca. The Casablanca seems to have fared much better. I've had terrible rust on the garlic this year. I got it last year and possibly the year before, but this year it's really taken its toll. But actually, this Casablanca doesn't seem too bad. So definitely it depends on the variety as to how much success you've got when there's other factors involved like rust. This is the Germador. Very, very poor. Just lots of little individual cloves. It'll not store at all. When your bulbs are split like that, it doesn't store. And very tiny. That's the biggest one I got. And that's split as well. So really this will have to be used straight away or processed and stored somehow. The Casablanca, much better. For the most part the bulbs are intact, not split, and they're much bigger. I mean, they're not massive, I never get massive garlic, but you know, reasonable size. So that should be enough garlic to be going on with for the year, I think. It'll meet our needs. Okay, the next task of the day that I want to get done is plant these two little chaps out. These are the Minnesota midget melons that Bill and Val sent me. I've got some seedlings in the greenhouse as well that I'm going to try and grow in there, but these two are going outside. They're very small. I don't know whether they'll grow or not, but I'm going to give them the best chance I can. I've got this one little patch here of border. It's south facing, so it gets lots and lots of sun. A little bit overcrowded, and I'm not sure if there's enough for two. I don't know, I've never grown melons before, but I'm going to put them in here. It's lovely and sheltered, so I think it's the best chance they've got. The point of this exercise is Bill and Val wanted to find out how far north it would be possible to plant or grow melons outdoors. So I'm in the northeast of England, not feeling that confident, just really because of the size of these. I would expect them to be bigger by now, but as I've never grown them before, I don't know. Perhaps they're not. I don't even know if they've few tiny little roots on the bottom there. Anyway, let's give it a go. There always seems to be quite a bit of pest pressure on this border, so I'm actually just going to pop these bottle pieces around just to keep any slugs or snails who might want a nibble of these. I don't know whether they would find them tasty or not, you can never tell. Right, good water, and let's keep our fingers crossed. How absolutely glorious these are. They're a golden mange too, and they start off with this beautiful purple flower, and then out pops the yellow mange too. Beautiful. All the squash were planted out the back last week, all seem to be doing just fine. Nothing's nibbled them so far, and they're settling in. Broad beans are almost ready to start picking. I'm sure there's a few there I could pick that would be full of beans. Right, we're back at the house now. I'll give you a quick scoot round the greenhouse. I've got cucumbers and cornichons grown up here. Never grown them before. I suspect the pots are far too small, but we'll see how we get on. And over this side, I've got aubergines. I've got some basil at the back. Some melons. I think there are more aubergines there. And I've got more cucumbers and cornichons down on the ground there. I've got little strings for them to grow up. Hopefully that'll be big enough for them. As I say, I've never grown them before. I think the pots are too small. Well, for some reason, I assumed that once I got all that squash out into the secret garden last week, the pressure would be off and things would calm down a bit. Keep still, mushes. Woodpeckers. Woodpeckers. This is Susan, by the way. We've got a broody hen still, Dorothy. Every time I throw her off the nest into the pen to get a little bit of food, this one, who's our youngest hen, has decided she needs to be higher up in the pecking order, so she's attacking Dorothy viciously. It's not very nice, Susan. So I've got Susan here with us now. Oh! I've got Susan now to give Dorothy a little bit of a break, but I cannot let her roam around in the garden at the minute because everything's, you know, seedlings and stuff, and she'll eat them, won't you, you wild thing. Anyway, yes, I was saying I thought things would ease off a bit once I got the squash in the ground. It seemed to be the last big job, but there's still loads to do. Today's task though is to sort these out. They haven't been in the greenhouse. I've just brought them in here to try and sort them out a bit. I've got asturian tree cabbage. I've got, well, I think this is perpetual spinach here. And I've got it far too close together, so I think I'll just thin that out. And I've got beetroot. I'm not going to pot that on. That'll go straight into the ground. Either way, I've just pulled out the garlic, or in amongst the onions where I've already got beetroot. I've got 5 good healthy looking plants, so that's all I'm going to pot on. I think I've got about 5 or 6 mature ones in the ground now, and that's plenty, so that'll be enough. That's the size pot I'm putting them in. They do have to stay in the pots for a wee bit longer. I'm not quite sure how long until I can get them into the ground, so I want them to have a decent sized pot to be going on with. This is in the back garden. I'll just show you all the lettuce I've got going. It's all rather wild, lots of weeds of course, but the lettuce is thriving. Picking it every day. And in the border behind is where I have got the tomatoes that I planted a couple of weeks ago. They're coming on beautifully. Again, lots of weeds, but we don't worry too much about that.